everyone. Today, we're going to tackle about the challenges of software design. As I am your presenter for this morning, Renato Ambarquilla. Let's take a look or a review of the software development lifecycle. So on each stages, we might encounter the different challenges in software development. On the first stage, we have the ideation phase. At this stage, the team has a lot to learn about the client's business and ideas. The basic actions conducted during the ideation phase is the review of documentation, research the domain and spend time getting familiar with it, conduct meetings with the stakeholders to discuss basic requirements, provide suggestions and brainstorm ideas. Make sure to consider the following: whose opinion can influence the product? It can be someone from the client side, specific departments like marketing, or national or international regulations, laws, and institutions. What are the goals of these people? The departments or institutions? Who is the product being made for? Who will use the product? Why is the product interesting and useful for these people? Where do they live? Do their daily routines need to be considered? Does the client have any ideas about the monetization strategy for the product? By the end of this first stage, the team already has some information about the product and found a common ground with the client. The general idea of the project, the high-level mind map, stakeholders and their goals, the competitors, key terms, and definition. The second stage in software development lifecycle is requirements. This stage is still a part of the discovery phase. It gives a business analyst a chance to gather any specific requirements for the project and prepare the documentation needed for the next step. Below are the main techniques used to elicit requirements or to gather your data: interviewing, holding workshops, brainstorming, observing. By the end of this stage, a software requirement specification, or SRS, is drafted and continuously reviewed by a quality assurance specialist to help all technical and non-technical stakeholders stay on the same page. The document describes functional and non-functional requirements and comes with a prototype. The third stage in software development lifecycle, the design. This step is based on the work done during the previous step. A solution architect prepares documentation pertaining to software architecture, describing the architectural approach and data flow for a particular project, as well as technical decisions and third-party integration. During this phase, a test strategy is also defined for further stages. The perfect case is when all documentation can be checked by stakeholders in terms of product relevance and legal constraints. By the end of this stage, the discovery phase of the software development lifecycle is considered to be finished and the project is ready for development. The fourth stage, only at this step, developers start implementing the project according to prepared documentation. The quality of this step greatly depends on developers' experience and how well documents are detailed. Next stage in software development lifecycle is testing. This stage usually goes hand in hand with development. Testing provides quality assurance and makes sure that the project is implemented according to their requirements. During testing, if any number of bugs are found, the team returns to development again. It is common that a short cycle of these two steps will repeat until all bugs are removed. There are several types of testing conducted at this stage. manual testing according to the acceptance criteria, regression testing, load testing, unit testing, integrational testing, and auto testing. Let's move to the next stage, which is deployment. This is the final stage of the project. It implies deployment to the product server and or digital distribution. Maintenance is the last stage in software development lifecycle. After the product release, additional support may be needed. Additional documentation and support hours are discussed individually. Several SDLC models can be used during the software development process. The waterfall model, iterative model, the V model, spiral model, the Big Bang model. Each model has a specific set of steps and special processes. The team can experience different kinds of work efficiency by deploying different models. The most common is the iterative model. Summing up, choosing an SDLC model suitable for your business and following the above-mentioned software development lifecycle steps helps facilitate work, efficiency, and successful product development. So here now is the challenges of software design. In order to drive efficiency in your software design projects and enhance the reliability of your software development initiative, it is important to understand the major challenges in software development and devise a systematic roadmap to cope with every challenge. To succeed in a dynamic software industry that is driven by changing technology trends and challenged by multiple internal and external factors, your development teams must have a clear understanding of the problems that lie ahead of them and a roadmap to overcome them. We have the first one, the rapid technology advancement, adapting to latest market trends. Every technology advancement is a blessing for the IT industry. But at the same time, technology evolving at a phenomenal rate leads to an added pressure for software development professionals to leverage these upcoming technology trends in software product development to gain a cutting edge over competitors and stand out in the market, catering to the latest technology requirements such as mobile first or mobile only or desktop first is often challenging. If you don't have resources with hands-on experience in the latest and trending technologies, it is sure to impact your time to market. Make sure your resources constantly polish their skills to remain relevant. This means staying up to date on market trends and exploring insights into the new technology and trends that are out there. The next challenge that we might encounter is the design influence. The product designs are under constant influence from stakeholders, the development organization, and the internal and external factors. Managing these influences is essential for maximizing the quality of systems and their related influence on future business opportunities. The increase of easily accessible, simple applications has resulted in user expectations growing exponentially. Make sure you streamline your design and offer consistent experience across devices, operating systems, and form factors. The system and application integration. There are thousands of different technologies, systems, and applications available for businesses. Integrating third-party or other custom applications such as your ERP systems, website, or inventory management database adds substantial complexity to your project. And the bigger challenge with integration is that they through the development process and surface only at the end, leading to extra costs, delays, lowered quality, and sometimes even failure of the project. To conform your software solution to the external constraints of other systems, you should get a clear understanding of end-user requirements, implement an enterprise-wide framework for the platform structure of the application, discover and research new technologies, design and develop new solutions, test and evaluate ideas to ensure optimum integration. Pay extra attention to research and development, testing, and prototyping. Lastly, it's you have to test, and test again before deploying the solution. The next one, so the project management. To be successful in project management, you absolutely have to be an excellent planner, says Ryan Chan, founder and CEO of Upkeep Maintenance Management. Very often, multitasking might give you more trouble than expected. Resources cannot focus on a single task or module if their manager bombards them with tasks. One obvious way to be an excellent planner is to leverage project management tools like Project Pro in O365 and keep project resources and teams organized and on track. To stay on track, meet all deadlines, work seamlessly across applications, and efficiently and effortlessly manage your project. Always keep task allocation sequential rather than parallel and encourage resources to give their best in whatever they do. Test environment duplication. Testing a software system in a controlled environment is difficult since the user is not immersed in a completely realistic working situation. It's impractical to gauge how a user will really use the application in different situations on a regular basis until it's deployed. However, with software applications for both B2B and B2C segments becoming more and more diversified than in the past, controlled testing is not sufficient. Testing the software application or product in a separate real-life test environment is critical to software success. This will allow you to see what is working well and what is working poorly in a vacuum versus live use. Next is the infrastructure or resources. An established project environment is always a common challenge in terms of its impact on project delivery. If the environment is not available, then there is no way you can proceed with your project on time and under budget. Another challenge faced by majority of software development companies is a lack of resources or IT infrastructure to execute projects effectively. This could mean a lack of high-performance software development tools, inefficient data storage architectures, or improper network and connectivity. Such hindrances bring down productivity and performance of software development teams and impact the overall result. To ensure efficient project development, test and pre-production environment should be made available during the development testing and user acceptance testing phases. Invest in a solid IT infrastructure upfront to create a better software development environment. The next challenge is increasing customer demands and expectations. A major reason for complexity of software project is the constant changing of requirements. Requirements gathering is a lot more than a handful of business consultants coming up with their ideal product. It is understanding fully what a project will deliver. Software projects are generally conceptual and are aimed at designing and developing software products that meet varied customer demands. To develop even the simplest application or product, developers must clearly understand the underlying business concept and bring in the required features to satisfy the growing customer demands. To ensure that product outcomes align with expectations and requirements, a solid process and line of communication need to establish. Remember the following best practices. Define and agree the scope of the project. Don't assume end user needs and requirements. Communicate the needs between the development and ideation teams. Involve users from the start of existing product refurbishment. Consider user experience from the start of new product development. Create clear, concise, and thorough requirements document and confirm your understanding of the requirements. Create a prototype to confirm and or refine final agreed upon requirements. Quality assurance. Not reviewing code or suppressing errors are just a means of developers use to save time and meet deadlines. Following a formal quality assurance process is imperative for a successful launch. If you witness developers trying to cut corners in the development process, discourage it immediately. Encourage them to use the best code development practices to meet the requirements sooner and more efficiently. And define quality standards and conflicts with software testing teams. In a classic software development project, interpersonal conflicts occur inevitably between software development and testing teams. Several factors contribute to such conflicts, like working under high performance pressure, different mindsets, difference in job roles, and the very opposite nature of development and testing. If not controlled and managed efficiently, these conflicts could hamper the overall project adversely. Defect identification is inevitable during functionality testing, even if the product has been through unit testing during the development phase. When you come out with a test approach, scenarios, conditions, cases, and scripts, make sure your test plan covers all requirements that are to be delivered by planning several cycles of testing. Time constraints. Software development is a time game. Developers work under pressured environments and strive to complete project requirements within strict and scanty timelines. This is especially a challenge when working with international clients on multiple time zones. Time constraints often bring down efficiencies of development teams and lead to mediocre quality software product in the end. The next challenge is the security infrastructure. Security breaches are on the rise. That means a risk study estimates that 96% of all web applications contain at least one serious vulnerability. How do you cope with evolving security threats? How do you keep each layer of your software or application secure? Security is not just the responsibility of the software engineer, but also the responsibility of all the stakeholders involved, including the project managers, the management, the business analysts, the quality assurance managers, the technical architects and application and developers. If you want to keep your infrastructure and company safe, remember the following best practices. Look beyond technology to improve the security of your software. Develop software using high-level programming languages with built-in security features. Require security assurance activities such as penetration testing and code review. Perform essential core activities to produce secure applications and systems. That's all for this morning. Thank you and stay safe, everyone. And here are the references: www.s28.com, synaptech.com, and computools.com.